Hi and welcome to all the viewers around the globe, wherever you are, catching this pre-recorded preview show, which is recorded on Tuesday for the meeting on Wednesday, a midweek meeting, the 6th of December, Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on the summer course. So really looking forward to the racing. On the line, the resident expert, Graham Hawkins. Firstly, Graham, how are you doing? And then secondly, tell us about the Cape. It's looking absolutely wonderful at the course and everything's looking up and up and up.
Yeah, it certainly is a racing renaissance. I was obviously at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth for the World Sports Betting Cape for these guineas over the weekend, and obviously for their Greenpoint Stakes. It was a hell of a race meeting, but the race course is looking absolutely fantastic. There's still a long way to go before it is entirely completed and before the vision of Greg Bortz and Hollywoodbets comes to life in full totality, but it is amazing, and it's an amazing place to race.
Right, let's get straight on to race number one. Being a 10-race program, the first race will not form part of the exotics. Just having a look at the betting. Fully exposed number 2, Strata, is a joint favourite at 28-10 with number 10, who is Trey Schick, who's had the 7 runs to date for the 2 seconds in the recent runs. And then after that, number 13, Charlene. From the Brett Crawford stable, from around 9-2 has shortened down 7-2. And then number 5, F8, is 5-1, 14-1 bar. Graham, let's start off with number 2, Strata. Seems to be fully exposed. Where do you put her in the pecking order?
You've got to have respect for her. Forming the maidens, as you say, she's fully exposed, but she's earned over 114,000 Rand in prize money in the maiden ranks. She's been third 3 times, second 3 times, fourth twice from 10 starts. I have a feeling she's probably a little better over 1,000 metres than 1,200 metres, but she's got to go onto the short list. She's number 2 in my pecking order. I've given the benefit of the doubt to number 10, Trey Schick. I say benefit of the doubt. I think this race is up for grabs. There are no standout bets here. Trey Schick has improved in her last 2 starts. She's also pretty well exposed. She's having her 8th start in the maiden ranks, but she has run second in her last 2 starts, both at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I guess the key question is, she better around the bend, or will she produce that kind of form up the straight as well? Only the race will show us, but I think she's done enough to earn the selection here, number 10, Trey Schick. There is money coming for number 13, Charlene. Her form at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth is pretty decent. She ran third behind Mia's Harper back in July on a soft track, and then was a close second behind Windrunner in August at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. But she's certainly got the form to win a race of this nature, and she's entitled to a position near the top of the boards. But again, as I say, this race is pretty much up for grabs. A number of well-bred first-timers that could come into the action. And then Richard Foury's got a full book of rides. He's always competitive. He rides F8, also very well exposed, having its 11th start in the maiden ranks as 4-year-old daughter of Futura. In my opinion, will need to step up on the game to find the winner's enclosure, but certainly one for the trifectas and quartets. But in order of preference, I'm going number 10, Trey Schick, then number 2, Strata, number 13, Charlene, followed by number 5, F8. But without a great deal of confidence, I think the winner should come from one of those 4, unless, of course, there's late money for any of those well-bred first-timers.
That'll take us on to the opening leg of the bar pot, which is race number 2. 12:45 is the off time over 1,200 meters. And looking at the opening leg of the bar pot, you're looking at numbers 1 and 8, which are the top 2 in the betting at this stage. Number 1, Princess Virginie, is trading at 12-10, and then we have number 8, Love Shack, at 3-1. These 2 runners seem to dominate the betting. Graham, take it away.
Yeah, I think it is a 2-horse race. Strictly on the collateral form of their last run, Love Shack should have the measure of Princess Virginie, but Princess Virginie didn't get the run of the race on that occasion. There are a lot of things that went wrong for her, and I suspect that on the evidence of her first start and on the evidence of what she's shown back at home, she came to the race course with a big reputation. Even though she started 20-1 on debut, she's done enough back at home to suggest she's going to be an above-average filly. So I'm going to give Number 1, Princess Virginie, the benefit of the doubt over number 8, Love Shack. As I said, on the evidence of their last run, Love Shack has got a safety held, but they should be much closer together. But I do suggest you include both into the first leg of the bipod, numbers 2 and 8. I would be surprised if the winner came from outside of that duo. Some measure of respect for number 11, Hanging Rock. Last 2 runs, not too bad, but should be safely held in this field. If you go back to the 28th of May, which is a long time ago, she was comfortably beaten by Love Shack. She has improved recently and should be involved in the hunt for trifecta and quartet money. Marpori for the Ricky Maingard stable. If you're looking for a little bit of a roughie to fill up the back end of your trifectas and quartets, then you might want to include number 9, Marpori, and also number 4, Tibetan Voyage. Those would be the next best. But I'm expecting the winner to come from numbers 1, Princess Virginie, or 8, Love Shack. The form book points to number 8, Love Shack, but I prefer the chances only slightly, though, of number 1, Princess Virginie.
That'll take us on to the opening leg of the place accumulator, which is race number 3. And at this point in time, no scratchings on the card. Remember that we are recording the day before early hours, so take note of the final declarations on the race day. The third race, this will be the opening leg of the place accumulator over 1,400 meters. They have number 3, Celtic Chief, as the 3-1 favorite. Number 4, Petea at 9-2, and then number 9, Spelling Bee at around 11-2, with number 13, King of Spin, 10-1 and upwards the balance. Quite interesting, Graham. Number 3, Celtic Chief. The average rating was a 76, a 75, and an 84 in the runs to date. And when you look at the runs coming along the right way, down the straight for the first time for Celtic Chief with an inside draw, as good a chance as any?
Absolutely. I've been beating the Celtic Chief drum, as you know, for a while now, certainly after his promising debut, when 4th to Lexington Point. I thought he'd win on the 7th of October, then I thought he'd win on the 21st of October. He's let me down on both occasions. But as you rightly point out, a lot of the Hollywoodbets Durbanville form is now being transferred to Kenilworth, and this 1,400 meters is a little easier. He's drawn in gate number 3. Could go well, certainly one of the chief horses in the race, and I'm going with numbers 3 and 4 in this leg of the bipod. Number 4, Petea, Richard Faree, Peter Muscat. When they team up, you've got to be very mindful of the fact that a forward run can be expected. Of course, Peter Muscat sent out his first runner as a winner a little while ago. This one comes into the race having not raced since July. Last run when a close second to Space Cowboy. That was on the poly track. The second to Kaya Mai. Before that was on the turf. Has already been gelded, started his racing career as a gelding. So Petea, definite runner, 3 and 4 for me in the bipod. But there are few with chances. It's not that cut and dried, Sheldon. 13, King of Spin. There was a lot of talk about him last time. He ran disappointingly, went 4th, well beaten by Peter Muscat's runner, Plaza Accord. So Peter Muscat will have a fair idea where Petea ramps up with Plaza Accord. 14, the Grey King. Probably wrong tactics last time out, set the fast pace and faded late. But before that was 3rd to Sail the Sky when King of Spin was 2nd. That form is still to stand up. So for that reason, and because of their awkward draws from a bipod perspective, I'm ignoring number 13, King of Spin, and number 14, the Grey King. But if they were to win, I certainly wouldn't be surprised. Spelling Bee, he didn't have the kick I expected in his last run over 1,600 meters. He steps back to 1,400 meters. But obviously those form lines have been franked, and he's done enough to suggest that he's got a chance in a race of this nature. Number 5, Baton Rouge, can improve. So there are a few with chances. It's not cut and dried, but I do think that the chief protagonists are number 3, Celtic Chief, and number 4, Petea, and those are the 2 that I'm going with in the bipod.
Excellent. As we move on to race number 4, which is the opening leg of the pick 6, where they are betting 4-1 the field. So take note of the betting. 4-1 about number 5, Joy and Peace. Number 9, Cloud Chaser, 9-2. And then number 12, Nordic Quest at 9-2. Now, Graham, with your numbers, 5, 8, 9, and 12, just before we get on to those numbers, this horse number 3, Desert Rose from the Gareth van Zyl stable, I made it the value, opened up 12-1, is currently 6-1. So the money's down on Desert Rose, and I quite fancy her chances. She had a pipe opener the other day at Durbanville, 18 days ago. And if you look at the average merit rating she's taken on, it could be a little bit stronger than a few of the runners in the field. So a horse that you could throw into the play?
Absolutely. When the money comes for any Gareth on sale horse, you've got to be respectful of that money. And Desert Rose has won her only start over the course and distance. Admittedly, that was way back on the 17th of December last year when she beat her stable companion on that occasion, a little bit naughty. Now, a little bit naughty is quite limited, as we know, but nonetheless, that was a very good course and distance win for number 3, Desert Rose. Subsequent to that, she has run a good number of seconds behind Betty Boop and Lady Tiptree, so she has the ability. She's got 61.5 to shoulder, but she is well drawn in gate number 3. So there's money coming for number 3, Desert Rose. You have to respect that. This is a very tough start to the pick 6, this class 4 handicap for fillies and mares over 1,600 meters. For me, races 5 and 6 are the key races, but we'll come back to those later on. So go as wide as you can in this 4th race. I've included 4 runners in the bipot. My top choice would be number 12, Nordic Quest, despite the poor draw. Has shown pretty decent form, wasn't disgraced last time out behind Double Grand Slam, and before that, second to Unconquerable Lady. So she would be my marginal first choice ahead of number 9, Cloud Chaser. My lurker in the race, your lurker is number 3, Desert Rose. My lurker is the 10-1 chance, number 8, Green Valkyrie. I think she's going to show improvement off the back of that run behind Siddeley. She now has a peak run, a third run after the rest, just 54.5 to shoulder. But a Sunday Macaulay riding well for the Glen Codson stable. So Green Valkyrie goes into the play in all my bets. And then the very interesting runner is, of course, Joy and Peace. Richard Fareed teaming up with Alan Creef. They do so very often in the Eastern Cape, but not so often at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Easy winner of a feature race at Fairview on the Poly track on the 10th of November. Why I respect Joy and Peace, although she's not my first choice, I make her my 4th choice. I do have respect for her. Her form as a juvenile behind Luna Halo was very good. And Luna Halo, although unplaced, was far from disgraced in both the Western Cape Fillies Championship and the WSB Cape Fillies Guineas over the weekend. She finished not too far behind the placed runners. So on that form, Joy and Peace, although she's got 61 on her back, she's a 3-year-old. Desert Rose, a 5-year-old's got 61.5. You've got to respect the fact that Joy and Peace comes into the race in pretty decent form, and Alan Creef knows what it takes to win races away from home. So it's a very tough start to the pick 6. It's a tough race for the bipod and indeed the place accumulator. Could there be a massive blowout? Of course there can be. The others with chances. Glee Club could improve. Catalea comes into the race with a bit of a chance. Mothership, Miss New York, all of these hard-knocking class 4 handicap types. Philosophize could suddenly find her best form, put that last run behind her. And Red Moon Rising also has scope. So it's a tough race. But I'm going 12, 9, 8, and 5 as my top 4 selections. Do respect the money coming for number 3, Desert Rose. But it's not going to be an easy race.
100% right. And talking about horses, you mentioned the last meeting that run in cycles. This is a horse, Desert Rose, who won about a year ago. So that might be the time of the year when Desert Rose flourishes. So maybe take some swingers 3 and 8. Green Valkyrie and number 3, Desert Rose. Some swingers and exactors. Both of our lurkers in the pack. And maybe they can come first and second. We box that exactor. Let's go on to race number 5, and I think this is a race we can be pretty sharp on. Number 3, Family Power from the Greg Enion stable, owned by Mr. Gary Player. Simply to say he'll be looking for a hole-in-one into the winner's box here.
Absolutely. I mentioned a moment ago that races 5 and 6 for me are the key races on this card, and I'm happy to row in with number 3, Family Power, as the nap selection for the day, the banker bet for the day. Richard Fareed rides for the first time this daughter of Louis the King, second behind Enchanting Choice, second behind Passion Doll. And that Passion Doll form line had number 4, English Mistress behind her, as was the case also behind Enchanting Choice. So the market rival is number 4, English Mistress, and Family Power has beaten English Mistress in both the last 2 starts. Sans Stark, the only other runner quoted in single figures, was behind Family Power as well. Sans Stark does get blinkers. That's a late declaration. But short and sweet, for me, the nap of the day, the best bet on this card is number 3, Family Power. Of course, they don't always arrive when you nap them, but I'd be very disappointed if Family Power didn't win.
Well, saying that, on to race number 6. I'm sure number 2, Master of All Storms, who is currently 18-10, did open up 22-10. Looks the right type of race for the son of Master of My Fate over the 2,000-meter trip. Has been runner-up in the recent efforts, when second to Lord Fifield and also to Weather King. And just looking at the KwaZulu-Natal weather at the moment, Master of All Storms, just on the name, the amount of lightning, hail and everything going on this side of the world, I think the name's going to get him into the winner's box, Graham.
Yeah, well, we made similar comments last time, and on that occasion, when beaten by Weather King, as you will recall, I was very strong in the camp of Weather King. So today, with Weather King having stepped out of the maidens, I'm very strong in the camp of number 2, Master of All Storms. Probably not quite as confident with this one as with Family Power, but still I think he will get the job done, and for me he's a banker bet. So I'm bankering races 5 and 6 and looking to go a little deeper in the other legs of the exotic bets. Got the draw in his favour. Last time out was an open maiden. A maiden handicapper was a small field, admittedly, but he gave weight away on that occasion to some of the runners, not to the winner, Weather King. But he's done enough to suggest he'll get the job done here. Take a mulligan. Does warrant some respect. That third to Call to Unite comes out, that could be a very progressive run, has its third run after rest, has its peak run. So some measure of respect for number 6, Take a Mulligan, who's my clear second choice. Others that you need to consider for trifectas, quartets, number 4, Marshall Field, number 11, He Knows, and number 15, Cosmic Rhythm. Those come into the play as far as the trifectas and quartets are concerned. But I'm going to take my chances with number 2, Master of All Storms. As far as the bipod is concerned, in the pick 6, I'm going to throw in number 6, Take a Mulligan, who might just be getting the hang of things now, and like See It again, is the son of Twice Over and might have a lot more improvement to come. So bipod banker, place accumulator banker, number 2, Master of All Storms. But in the jackpots and the pick 6s, I'm going to throw in number 6, Take a Mulligan, along with Master of All Storms.
That'll catapult us into race number 7. There's still races 7, 8, 9 and 10. And just looking at your bipod that you've structured, 2, 3, 7 and 8 would suggest that you're not sold on the favourite number 2, Royal Swan Master, around 22-10.
He's entitled to be favourite. He's obviously a nice horse in the making. He's number 2, Royal Swan Master. I would like to have seen him go a bit further than the 1,400 metres after finishing second behind Kingdom of Heaven last time out. He certainly ran on very nicely in that race. And it's a similar type of race, so he should certainly run well. Again, he has his third run after rest, so he should strip very nicely fit. He's had the 2 initial starts in KwaZulu-Natal. His Hollywoodbets Durbanville debut was good behind Kingdom of Heaven. Kingdom of Heaven you strongly fancied that day, and he was a cut above the balance. So those that finished behind Royal Swan Master didn't blow me away. And for that reason, although I think Royal Swan Master is clearly the horse to beat, if I get through with my 2 bankers, I certainly want a little bit of cover here. So I've included also numbers 8, Bristol Hercules. Interesting runner, Richard Fourie, Peter Muscat. The form doesn't show it, but Bristol Hercules has always been very highly regarded by Peter Muscat, and I'm not prepared to ignore that team completely. Oliver, well, he was third, of course, behind Royal Swan Master last time out, and Royal Swan Master came rushing by him in the closing stages. So on that basis, Oliver should be held again by Royal Swan Master, but he's very honest, he's very game. You're going to get a good run for your money, so Oliver goes in. And then number 3, this is my book in the race, Inamorari. We know he's better than his recent form suggests. There was a little bit of improvement last time out. He's won twice and placed second twice from 8 starts at the course. He's had 1 win from 3 starts over the course and distance. He does have a bit of putting on his back, but he's well drawn. And my comment is this the potential upset in the race, number 3, Inamorari? So he goes into my play just in case we get a bit of a turn-up, a bit of a boil-over in race 7. But it doesn't end there. Recent maiden winners, Unicorn Alert and Infrared, they could have many, a lot more scope to improve. And then I'm interested to hear what you think of Fibonacci, because you were on the button last time when he won at 25-1. Ashton Arias again takes the ride. I just think he's got a little more to do here, but I'd be keen to hear what you think of Fibonacci this time around.
Yes, last time out he paid for the Christmas presents and the Christmas and that. This time out I will be including him, but like you mentioned, I think he's taking on quite a lot stronger, and I'm in your camp with number 3, Inamamore, at around 10-1. I think that could be the value horse. So let's go with number 3 as the each way selection. I'll be with you, but we will include number 5, Fibonacci. As we move on to race number 8, which will be run over 1,400 meters. Now, if you're well ahead at this stage of the game, you'll be playing for free. But Graham, if the guys are on the back foot in race number 8, where would you be leaning towards as a selection, or perhaps a suggested bet in race number 8 if you have a confident selection or something that you like?
This is a tough race. So this is a Class 5 handicap, 1,400 meters. But there are a few that I think could give you a good run for your money. I'll start off with number 5, Incredible. Magic Verse, decent sort in the making. Incredible, try to make all the pace over 1,600 meters, was there for a long way. Reverts back to the 1,400 meters, which he won in his penultimate start at Hollywoodbets Durbanville when beating like the Clappers by 2.5 lengths. This is a different racetrack, but on that form, and given the fact that he's got a better draw, he could well again beat the likes of number 12, like the Clappers. So Incredible would be near the top of my list, along with number 12, like the Clappers. Stable companion to Incredible, Shifting Path, narrowly beat Mighty Mac last time out. They meet again, and Mighty Mac could well turn it over this time around, but Mighty Mac jumps away from the worst of the draw. Shifting Path is drawn somewhere in the middle, and he was only penalised 2 points for that win, so Shifting Path should again be competitive. Kelp Forest does enough to keep you interested and should be there and thereabouts. But to be quite honest, the wider you can go here, the better. Legal chit-chat can upset the apple cart. So I'm not confident here at all, but you asked me a question, so my each-way play would be number 5, Incredible, if I was on the back foot and looking to get something back.
Well, I'm with you there. Number 5, Incredible. That's my first selection. I liked him last time out. I think Bernard Fado was supposed to ride him on that occasion, and he was stood down on the day or did not ride, and Anthony Andrews replaced him, if my memory is correct. So Bernard Fado's back aboard him, and I agree 100%. Back to the 1,400 in an open-looking contest at around 5-6-1. Worth getting out if you are on the back foot. And if you're on the front foot, certainly worth having a little bit of a nibble in race number 8. Let's go on to the race number 9, which is the penultimate race of the day. If you're looking to play the double races 9 and 10, race number 9 over 1,000 meters, so that'll be down the straight. Where do we start in race number 9, Graham?
I think we start with number 7, Great Catch. Here's a filly taking on the boys. That's not always easy, but we're over the minimum trip of 1,000 meters, which seems to be the Daughter of Dynasty's best distance. So she has won over 12.50, but that was at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I think this course and distance will suit her ideally. Now, I had a chat with Brett Crawford a while back and said, what kind of problems did this filly have that saw her make such a late start to her 3? She was so sparingly raced. She's only had 5 starts to date. She had 2 starts in November, December 22, and then made a reappearance in August 23. And he said to me she had no issues. She just needed to develop. She just needed to mature. He thinks she's a very nice filly in the making. Now, if you go along with that, then she's got to be better ultimately than a current rating of 70. Now, I know this is a Cape C Stakes. It's not a straight handicap, but she's well weighted in terms of the best weighted column, just a 1 pound behind On Board, who's also a filly in the race. The fillies always get better treated in these Cape C, Cape B, Cape A Stakes type races. But On Board, the last 2 runs don't inspire one with too much confidence. So I'm very much in the camp of Great Cat, more so because of what Brett Crawford told me, that ultimately he thinks she's going to be a multiple winner. He thinks she's going to be competitive in divisions higher than this, and for that reason I believe she's probably a lot better than a current handicap rating of 70. That being said, though, Sheldon, these 1,000-meter races at this level can be quite trappy. Watch for a good run, albeit after a long rest, from number 1, Swift Action. The form is good. Not quite sure why Swift Action has been off the track since May, but if coming fit and fresh, Swift Action can certainly run a very big race. Others to like would be Bonanza. Recent form is good. Wordsworth is in and out. Bullet can improve. Wiley Jack can surprise. But I'm going with Great Cat to win it. From number 9, Bonanza, number 1, Swift Action. Our 4th position would go to number 2, Warm Wind Tonight. I haven't mentioned that yet. Beat Great Cat when winning its maiden, but I'm expecting Great Cat to come out on top on this occasion, if only because, as I said, of what Brett Crawford told me. So I think Great Cat is a nice roving banker here. If you're not that confident in taking what is relatively a short price in a field of this sort, then certainly make her your roving banker. Great Cat would be on my top choice in race 9.
Now, bringing down the curtain at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth is the Hollywoodbets Bright Future Class 4 for the fillies and mares over 1,000 meters. And we were touching on Fibonacci earlier on, which we caught right at around 25 to 1. I kind of like this horse number 4, Country Time, at 20 to 1 from the Candace Bass Robinson stable. Although the form is in and out, if you go back about 4 runs, third to Miss Marguerite, where the average rating was an 86. And if you go back further in the form, beat She's My Captain, second to Hunting Trip. At 20 to 1, you can't get hurt throwing her each way and into the quartets, Graham?
Not amongst my first 4 selections, to be honest, but like I've said on so many previous occasions, including when you tipped Fibonacci, I've learned a long time ago to take note of what you say and to respect what you say. Yeah, if you go back along further to November last year, she actually beat She's My Captain, and she was giving weight away to She's My Captain. And so at the weight on that kind of form, she's got a chance, because She's My Captain is my first choice. Richard Faree gets on so well with the daughter of Captain of All. He's ridden her 8 times for 4 wins, and his strike rate for Harold Crawford and Michelle Ricks is also very good. I'm satisfied that what I saw on Saturday, that whether you're drawn in gate 1 or whether you're drawn in the middle or whether you're drawn on the outside down the straight, I think you've got a chance if you, I think that going is pretty even. So I'm going to respect number 4, Country Time. But this race, of course, is no one-horse race. She's My Captain would be my first choice, but number 6, Palo Queen, we've been following her along the way, and she'll run well again. Number 3, Where's the Party? Does enough always just to keep you interested. It must be included onto the short list. My roughie in the race would be the bottom weight, number 8, Silver Screen. Again, the recent form doesn't inspire too much confidence, but if you go back in time, then on a very best form and carrying just 52 kilograms with Josh Solomons in the irons, number 8, Silver Screen, is very pacey, could be involved. Number 9, Winter Rainfall, can improve. And number 2, Porto Zante, who won its maiden in July, might just need this run, but she could be better than she's currently rated. So it's an open race. I certainly respect your choice, number 4, Country Time. Obviously, at 20 to 1, as you say, you can't get hurt. Throw into your trifectas, quartet, swingers, and exactas. My top choice is number 1, She's My Captain. I think she sets the standard, but Where's the Party, Palo Queen, they'll make their presence felt. And if you're looking for an additional roughie, along with number 4, Country Time, to perhaps really make a potential trifecta and quartet dividend of note, then number 8, Silver Screen, would be my roughie in the race.
Well, there you have it from Graham Hawkins and myself, Sheldon Peters. If you're going into race number 10, go with numbers 4 and 8. Silver Screen at 16 to 1. Take a each way bet on this daughter of Rafif. And then number 4, Country Time, at 20 to 1. An each way bet at 20 to 1, the 4-year-old Time Thief, Country Time, and then play around some swingers, trifectas, and quartets. And maybe you find a bigger roughie to include, and if one of these two come into the play, maybe that quartet could be significant. As always, Graham, thanks very much. You've been an absolute pleasure to work with and a real help for the punters out there. And now it's up to the horses, as you always say. We've done the form studying, we've given the selections, but at the end of the day, it comes to how the horses are feeling on the day and how they perform.
Absolutely. Certainly hoping Family Power will deliver for us.
There we go. Thanks very much to Graham Hawkins joining us on the line from Cape Town. He's given us the lowdown, and hopefully the horses, like we say, will do it for us on the track, and hopefully we'll catch you in the number 1 box.